I'm excited about tonight's tax talk because y'all, what's tea? Like, this foolishness is getting out of hand, and I just want to come on and talk about it. Get some input from you all. For those that are new coming in, if you will share this live, I'm sure somebody somebody will benefit from this. Also, if you'll drop in the chat where you're checking in from. And I usually, by the time I go on IG, I normally have all this stuff set up. But y'all, this PPP, and I mean, it's all good, because PPP is in place for a purpose, but we already knew people was going to run out. But they make it rough out here in these streets, and I need to address a few things. Let's see. I don't see me live on here. What's going on, Facebook? Come on in, share this broadcast, and drop in the chat where you're checking in from. All right. I don't see, so I can share this real quick. Come on in, come on in, come on in. We give a few minutes too for some folks to get on in here. Go ahead and share this live. If you know anyone that's gotten PPP funds, this will be some important information for them. If you, in fact, have received PPP funds, of course, it will benefit you. And I see a couple of sisters in craft on here. So if they want to chime in and come up to the platform, by all means, send a request. I want to talk about this thing because this is getting crazy, like crazy. All right. So what's good? What's good? What's good? Y'all, how's your Tuesday going? I am super excited. I have been productive and busy. And at first I was like, okay, I was really, really, really busy. And then I started seeing some stuff. I got a text message about 11 something last night. I was in there with a headache and sinus, and I don't know what was going on. I think I just had my eyes on the screen too long. But y'all, so if you've gotten, well, I ain't gonna ask that. I was gonna say if you've gotten a PPP funds, or if you know someone that's received PPP funds, drop a 1 in the chat. If you have received or know someone who's received PPP funds, drop a 1 in the chat. And for those of you who are new to my page, welcome, 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 welcome. I love Tax Talk Tuesdays. I wish I had more time to go live more often, but unfortunately right now, we're still in the crux of tax season. We're still finishing up PPP funding applications and things of that nature. Okay, Jasmine, some information you may want to share with your clients. But I am Tawana with Bryant Business Solutions. I own and operate a full-service, 100% virtual tax and accounting firm based out of Columbia, South Carolina. I am here I'm going to represent the Chuck all day, every day, by way of Charleston, South Carolina. Y'all, so we know I do accounting, taxes, bookkeeping services, small business startups, business formations, all that good stuff. But I want to talk about this fraud, okay? So let's get into it. So I got a message last night about, it might have been close to 12 o'clock. I don't know, because I had already taken some to try to kind of wind down because I was feeling like all this had tension, okay? And I was like, okay, maybe you're just sitting at the computer too long. You know, you're a little tired. You don't always listen to your body when they say stop. So, go to bed. So my phone is buzzing. Typically, my phone goes on D&D and I don't even know a message comes through. For whatever reason, it must have been meant for me to get this information last night. So how many people are aware that for whatever reason, there is a list, so to speak, that has everybody's information on it that is out if you've received PPP funding, okay? And I'm not opposed to that, okay? I'm not opposed to it. However, what is happening is there is so much fraud going on. These agencies are starting to talk to each other. So one, it puts people who may be receiving government funding or assistance in any capacity. If you are going, and that's what it started with, a video that I came across yesterday. And I'm normally not even on social media like that. I'll, get my post out or have my assistant get the post out. And I don't have time to scroll right now. I just happened to be scrolling yesterday, and this, to clean it up, because I'm a little more clean. I don't cuss and all that, but to clean it up, essentially what's happening is the banks are now talking to the government, the federal government. Federal government is now talking to these local agencies. So people who are receiving housing, government assistance, who have now all of a sudden gotten this business that they are claiming that they make hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars and they receive PPP funding, you might want to fall back. Okay. You might want to fall back, because what is happening now is investigations have been going on. Okay. So this isn't nothing new. Investigations have been happening. But now I don't like the fact that they publicized the list. And for those people who are home-based business owners, now either you're putting people in danger as far as I'm concerned, because it looks like, okay, these people got all this money, first of all. And then for those people who got it ill, and not saying that people who have government housing don't have businesses that are legitimate. However, you cannot go to the government and receive assistance and say, I don't have any income, or I have low wages or no wages, and expect that once you go to the IRS or SBA and say, I have 6 figures, I'm making multiple 6 figures, and they not connect. It's not like we're in the day of technology. It's not like back in the day. Today, now it's a click of a button, and these agencies are now communicating with one another, and they are locking people up. People are losing their benefits. People are losing their assistance. And if you are truly a person that needs assistance, I'm a product of it. Okay. So I won't say I got what I needed. However, I worked hard to come out of that. And if you're still in that space, stop the lying. Okay. Because all it's going to do, a lie is something that you're going to have to continuously keep up with. For me, I'm probably brutally honest, but stop the lying, because now you got to keep up with this lie to say that, whatever you claimed on this, and then now try to justify it and keep up with what you said. But for those people who said they do not have income to get assistance, now people are losing their assistance. Here's the other caveat to that. Pookie and them, who fraudulently created your application, and I ended up in a circle, not really a circle, kind of following someone who, it just appeared to me, the way that they were moving was sort of like they were creating businesses for people. So we're going to talk about some of the things that they're looking at that are red flags for red flags for PPP fraud. Okay. So there's certain things and certain factors that they begin to look at on the applications, and starting to see if fraud is involved. Now, one of them, like I said, you have a new business. Now, of course, there's a lot of new businesses, Pookie and Peanut, right? Okay. There's a lot of new businesses that have flourished as a result of the pandemic. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that you did not have a business, but then you wanted these PPP funds, and you go apply, and you let Pookie and Peanut create you a business and say that you're making these 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, whatever the case. And then now you call it. And guess what? They want you to flip Pookie and Peanut, because you don't want to lose you're going to lose your benefits. That's first and foremost. Let's go and get that out the way. You're going to lose your stuff. It ain't worth it, y'all. It's not worth it. You're going to lose your benefits. Now you got to pay back this money. So as I'm doing my research throughout this whole thing about this fraud, I see there's a young lady she's out of Tennessee. She got a GoFundMe. Now, you done got the government money. You done spent it on whatever. But she has a GoFundMe to recoup the money that she got from the SBA so she can pay the people back. Sis, like, nah, but here's the other funny part to that. She has raised over $4,000. Now, I'm no judgment. No judgment at all. No judgment at all. I need y'all chime in. Chime in. Like, who goes and gets a GoFundMe to raise money that you spent, but you received fraudulently so you can pay the government back? That's a federal crime. Yes. But she still got a whole trial to go through. She still lied. Right. Like, you still lied in the process. It's a federal crime. The federal crime is 30 years that you're looking at. Those PPP funds was not worth it. Okay. I'm doing PPP applications for my clients. Here's the other part of it. When you get that money, it is designated for certain things. It's not for you to chill. It's not for you to chill and parlay. Am I yelling? Y'all, if I'm yelling, tell me I'm yelling. Because I know I'm a little... She's raising money for canteen, obviously, right? If I'm yelling, y'all, let me know so I can lower my voice, because I know I talk loud and I get excited and you know. But y'all, I'm trying to move this thing so I can see. Okay, thank you, Sharon. But yeah, so 30 years, then not to mention the money that you stole, you'll be now charged with bank fraud, wire fraud. Like, you got all this fraud going on. In the midst of this, you're not keeping proper books. Again, I provide full service, virtual, 100% virtual accounting and tax services. So if you need your books to get right, God has graced me to be able to have the patience to deal with these. Okay. Thank you, Jasmine. To deal with people with like if your accounts and stuff jumbled up or whatever, I have been graced with the patience. Everybody doesn't have that patience. Everybody doesn't want to deal with the mess. I call it a beautiful chaos, because I like to see the end result. Now, I'm gonna keep it real with you when it's not like that. I'm gonna shoot straight from the hip. We did have a client once that she told me that she felt like she was being attacked because I told her her books were not in order. She attempted to throw something together to get her taxes done, which they were wrong. And when I told her, and I was just brutally honest, but professional and respectful, she was like, "Oh, I just feel like I'm getting attacked." Well, no, ma'am, you're not being attacked. I am not the transparent accountant for not having transparency. I'm going to be transparent as it pertains to me, but as it pertains to you and your books and your things as well. If you are not keeping that money separated from PPP funds that you've received, you need to be keeping it separated. You need to have proper bookkeeping going on for it, because if you get audited, it's a whole nother level up from this whole tax fraud. Okay. That's another thing. The tax fraud. I'm still seeing these nice round numbers. Like, stop. You did not spend $400 in gas, even. You did not spend $600 in gas, even. Like, you didn't drive 2,000 miles flat. Like, you didn't do it. So stop doing things that's going to trigger an audit. I'm going to say this, and I've made a decision that's going to be in stone at this point. If your books are not in order come 2021 tax season, and actually after this tax season unofficially ends in May, Bryant Business Solutions can't handle you. We can't help you. We can't do your book. We can't do your taxes unless you're paying for bookkeeping services as well. We're not doing it no more. We're not attempting to do it. We ain't trying to do it because it's stressful. It's already stressful enough. We got to keep up with the changes of the PPP. We got to keep up with the fact that, here's the other part. We got clients from 2019 that have not received their legitimate refunds because this mess is going on. Like, It's everybody's spread thin, and COVID is happening. People are dying still from COVID. It's happening. Like, come on, people. All for a couple of dollars? Hey, Karonda, a couple of dollars, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth fed time. It's not worth your babies losing you, because I ain't even think about the government assistance at this point. Now you're going to be separated from your children for however much time for some Gucci and some Louis or whoever, or to ride around in whatever vehicle, a rental, go on some trips. Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So what I'm going to recommend at this point, one more thing. You can't get unemployment and PPP funds at the same time. You have to be strategic. Now, when we were coming out, and I'm a part of a group of over 400 accountants and tax professionals. I know because my coach put some plays together for us to be able to help the community. Like, what can we do to help on the front end? There were so many people offering their services. We got to stop being cheap and stop saying we're not going to invest in ourselves, but we saying we got a business. Quit running your business like a side hustle. A side hustle is not doing the necessary things to keep up with their books like they're supposed to. A side hustle, no, you don't want to invest. You want to find the quickest get around way, but there is no quick, fast, in a hurry way to do this. Unless, you could, run across a little slip up that you hiccup and make six figures. Okay. But if your foundation is not strong, if you don't have your books in order, if you don't have your bookkeeping done, if you're not properly filing your taxes, did an offboarding call with a client yesterday, reviewed her taxes. As we're discussing the taxes, I don't care who it is. And my clients will tell you, I say, review these documents. But now I have a mandatory process in place. We will do a document review. You're going to look at what I put on your return. It's not anything that, I'm going to slide a business in here on you, or I'm going to slide some education that you didn't get on there to be able to get a write-off. I do not and will not ever say I get you the largest refund. What I will do is strategize and find ways for you to pay the least amount of taxes legally. Okay. But I'm not saying I'm giving you the largest refund. That's not the goal. The goal is not for you to let the IRS borrow your money and for you to get a refund on theirs. That's not what it's intended to do. The goal is to try to break even. And if you're not breaking even, then you letting them borrow money interest free. But then when they give you your refund fund back, they ain't tacking nothing on it. So let's figure this thing out. We provide tax planning services. Now that's when you're ready to go to that next level. Okay. So y'all, I'm gonna read what the IG is going on over on IG. It's always the W-2 workers that wants stop claiming zero exemptions. Now, the way the W-4 is set up now, it's a little more difficult. Stop claiming exempt if you're not exempt. And then when you get to the end of the tax year, you owe $4 or $5 grand and you upset. Like, that's not your tax professional's fault. Come on, y'all. Let's do things in decency and in order. That's not so if you have W-2 income and you have not revisited your W-4 to see what your withholdings are, or if you were in a situation that you owed this year, you might want to start looking at correcting your exemptions. Okay. If you have a W-2 job only. All right. Another thing, if you are a business owner, just because you have a business that may have earned a little bit of money, that does not mean you're exempt from filing those on your taxes if you have W-2 income also. If you are required to file that W-2 income, now you have this additional side hustle money. Guess what? Now you're talking tax evasion, which is a federal offense. Cut it. Go on and file that stuff on there. Stop getting this free money, because that's what it is, and thinking you're going to get away with it. Because at this point, I don't know who the government coming after. And y'all know I'm always preaching and speaking on just being compliant. Tax preparation is compliance work. It is work for us to ensure that you're compliant. Tax planning is another service. It's a service that we strategize and put in place certain legal loopholes in order for you to now divert your income so you can pay the least amount of taxes. Two different services. So don't, one, go expecting your tax preparer and thinking that they're responsible for giving you all this information, because that's not what it's for. What it's for is for you to get your taxes prepared and for you to be compliant. If we see something that's a little out of the ordinary, yeah, drop you a few nuggets, pick them up. I see this happening year after year after year, year after year. If you have self-employment income only, I highly recommend, if this is your first year in business and you have exorbitant expenses, they know if you're in, two things that they require for you to have a business: for you to have the intent to work to produce a profit, and you to work regularly in your business. Okay. Which is a couple hours a week. Like, you may be working in your business, your side business, a couple of hours a week. You might have a lot of losses in that first year. Don't be afraid to file that on your taxes, because Amazon was able to, at a later date, pay $0 in taxes. How? They had research and development costs. They had the carry forwards on their net operating loss. But you claim that loss in the year that it's incurred. Okay, so if you have expenses and receipts and things of that nature for 2019, let's say, that should be filed on your taxes this year. If you had them from 2018, don't come bringing me no 2018 receipts talking about, Tawana, can we put it on now? Tawana's not putting it on now, because that's not when you incurred that expense. Now, I know I done vented a little bit. Okay. I know I done vented a little bit. So what y'all think about? What y'all thoughts about this whole scam stuff that's going on? And the sad part about it, y'all, the sad part about it is there are people who probably made legitimate mistakes or legitimate errors on their applications, and they're going to be penalized on a higher level than what they probably would have before, all because these people who are intentionally doing it. That's not right. That's not fair. But guess what? The government don't care. So the PPP was intended for companies that had 500 or less employees to apply for that. And if you had employees, the other thing is that I saw is people who are say sole proprietors, or it's like affordable health care sounds great at first, but comes back, yeah, to bite you in the butt. Yeah. But people who are sole proprietors, when you're applying for your PPP funds, and there's stuff that I know people just legitimately don't know. When you apply for PPP funds, your people that you are paying are issuing 1099s, and you're paying out money to them. They are not your employees. If you are not issuing these people a W-2 at the end of the year, they're not your employees. They are independent contractors, and they should have been applying for those PPP funds themselves. Okay, so that's something else. If you did that, you may want to consult with your bank or whoever you receive those funds from to find out what the recourse is for you to correct that problem. If you also receive PPP funds and you were filing unemployment claims during those weeks, it's erroneously, done. If you were doing that, contact your unemployment office and let them know, I wasn't aware, so they can go ahead and have you pay back whatever, or do whatever now, save face. Okay. Because they come in hot and heavy. And I kept saying at the beginning, like, they gonna crack down on audits. Like, I want to make sure everybody's got stuff in order. There's just too many people out there offering their services for you not to have somebody to tap into. You could not have multiple PPP loans with different lenders that you accepted. Now, what you're supposed to do is apply for one at a time. Now, if you get denied from one and now you go to another one, that and I did have that happen with some clients where I applied for the PPP funding, we get denied for whatever reason. There was one lender that just they had reasons for the denial that made absolutely no sense. So yes, I did apply with another lender. And some lenders they didn't follow the guidelines once the change happened to say that you can use the line 7 of gross income. Hey. You could use line 7 versus line 31. They didn't update their system. So once I got into the application and saw that, I backed out for those people who needed to use line 7. So there are situations that are just, it is what it is. But you still want to operate in honesty and integrity. If you have no establishment of separating the PPP funds from your regular funds, be it you had that money deposited in a personal bank account, or if you had that money deposited in a business bank account with the rest of your money, what I was advising my clients to do is get another account to put that money in to handle the expenses so it's easy to track. Okay, that's another red flag. People are using these PPP funds for personal expenses. That's not what it's for. So, go ahead and replace that money. What you need to be doing is, paying yourself weekly, biweekly, however, out of it. If it's for intended for payroll purposes, which you need to use, it's a high percentage. I think it's like 65% has to be used for payroll. So you can't use that money for other things, for operating expenses, utilities. Those are the things. If you have inadequate or questionable documentation submitted to support for when you go to apply for the forgiveness of the loan, be mindful of what you submit and make sure it's legit. Again, if you set up and you're structured properly and you handle your business properly from the beginning, these are things that you don't even have to worry about. The problem is we're trying to pull stuff together to make it work. Now, they were accepting mock-up 2020 tax Schedule Cs if you have not filed your 2020 taxes yet. And so that's all fine. But make sure, because if your books were in order, you would know that number is accurate. Make sure those numbers match, or you're going to run into a problem. They're looking at new businesses, new debt obligations, any atypical business activities on that you have going on now as a result of this PPP funds. It's not for you to parlay. Okay. If you don't want to produce documents for PPP compliance, they're going to question you. And these are some of the same things that I talk about with my clients. I'm like, when I'm looking at the items for your return, I'm not the IRS, but I'm here to be the liaison between you and the IRS. So I'm going to say, this looks suspicious. If it looks suspicious to me, I know it's going to look suspicious to the auditor. I'm going to ask questions. Where is this money coming from? Where's your documents? What's that total? What's it look like? And when you upload your receipts to me, that's not for you to upload your receipts for Tawana to add up your receipts that you should have been keeping up with all year long. That's bookkeeping. Now I'm gonna charge you for bookkeeping services. This is crazy. Again, my biggest issue with this whole thing is the fact that you're putting this money in addition to these people's addresses, and that's dangerous. That's still dangerous in my opinion. I don't agree with the way that it was done. However, I understand why it's done. Y'all, we gotta be compliant. We gotta be vigilant. We gotta operate in integrity. We gotta operate in honesty. We gotta make sure we're doing the right thing. And be mindful also of these preparers who are fraudulently doing things. If you get your tax return back and you see an automobile being claimed in a business that you know you don't have, say something, because you're responsible for that tax return. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to come after the preparer unless they're seeing this consistently happening. You're responsible for your return once you sign it. And I don't transmit anything without a signature. So handle your business, people. Like, handle your business. If you got friends and family, tell them, share this live. I can't express it enough. Share this live. I know I was a little amp in the beginning. I done came down a little bit, but yeah, I don't know what to say. And I didn't sleep well last night. And I'm wondering now if that was it after I got that message, because I'm like, how y'all just releasing this stuff with these people stuff and say, and y'all, there are companies that, because I looked at some of this stuff, companies that got upward of like hundreds of thousands of dollars in PPP funds, $93,000. Like, and they may have, I mean, you got to think, if they have 499 people on payroll, okay, and they're paying these people, if you think about 8 weeks salary, if their company had 8 weeks salary worth about $100,000, they're getting those funds. But why put these people in danger to say where they're at, or where they do business or what have you? And now people, Pookie and them again, go now say, oh shoot, we done created this stuff for these people on this end. Now let's go bop them upside the head and take the other one's money who got it. Like, I don't know what to say about the government. I don't know, but it's not worth anyone losing their government assistance. It's not worth your children losing their Medicaid or medical benefits. It's not worth you losing your housing it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I don't know what else to say. Y'all, I'm really stumped. I am really, and for those who know me, y'all know I'm usually not without words. Granted, I've gotten a hush anointing over the past couple of years, but like, I'm usually not stuck with this stuff. Like, I'm really stumped. And I just didn't think people would take it this far, but then I guess that's the world we live in. And for my folks that know how to pray, cover these people. Like, seriously. I mean, it's really that serious, in my opinion, that we got to, yeah, that's exactly what it is, Porsche. It's not, but they don't think about that when they hear free money. And that's the thing. And I guess what people assumed it was free money. And I kept saying in the beginning, it ain't free. This money is not free. It's going to come with a price. It's going to come with some repercussions on that back end. And I knew, because we had gotten notified that audits were going to ramp up 50%. But here's the thing. The easiest business to get into is a sole proprietorship. You do not have to be registered to have a sole proprietorship. So when you claim that Schedule C on your tax return, then now you're already at a higher risk of being audited. That is the top business that's audited. Partnerships, sole proprietor, partnerships, S corps, those are audited less. But starting out, you're getting audited at a higher rate. So you're already at risk. Then when we got the notification, it said that's who they're going to be going for. They're going after them first. So again, that's now these new business, these new pop-up shops. And these are the number one people that don't have their books and their things in order. Like, if the IRS rolled up on you right now, do you have your stuff together? And I tell my clients, I want your stuff to be so tight and right, because the goal and the mission of my business is to educate and to empower. I want to empower you that you ain't worried about getting no IRS letter. You get it. Oh, okay. That's what you're looking for. Boom, 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 bam. Here you go. And the thing is, don't have no extra conversation with them, because y'all know I'm from the South, and I'll talk to you. I'm an introvert. I've learned over the years. but I'm social. I'm very social. So while you're sitting there typing up your little stuff, Tawana will be chit-chatting and da-da-da, but they typing up everything you're saying. And as soon as you say something that triggers something, now they're gonna have a conversation with you and say, oh, you got this? Oh, okay. Where's that at? Which is why we tell you don't commingle your funds. Don't put your business and your personal funds together. If you have a business, operate it like a business. Separate that money out. Don't go swipe and type of, well, this is the only card I had on me. You better pull something up on your phone and cash app yourself or something. I mean, it's too easy now for your stuff to be in order, which leads me to something. So I got 2 courses that I'm going to have coming that's going to be dropping in May and then June. I think I'm going to do May and June. They're going to be 3-hour courses. So one of the courses is going to be my self-employed tax secrets masterclass. And this is to help those individuals who are self-employed. You may receive 1099 income. You don't know what to do with it. You don't know how to handle it. I know I had a strategy call today with a young lady. Her income was about $2,000 on that. She doesn't have anything else. She's fresh out of college. That's not a requirement for her to file because she doesn't have any other income. However, she has quite a bit of losses. Okay, fine. Let's go ahead and file it and claim that so you can have those net operating losses carried forward in future years. But I'm going to go through these type of things in that course because there's so many new business owners that truly don't know. So I am kind of fine tuning that. It's something that I had already put together. I'm fine tuning it so that it's a little easier to follow. And what I'm going to do is possibly right. Look, it's these people tripping, okay? But I'm gonna heard what's they sure don't. I can't tell how many times I've heard what's P&L. Listen, uh, people just aren't educated, and it's unfortunate. Everybody want a business. No, it's true. Everybody wants a business. So I've decided, since I've been graced with this patience, to be able to help you navigate. So if you got 5 accounts and you got all that money, all that loot for all these 5 different businesses, and I'm a serial entrepreneur, but your books ain't tight and right, I'm going to spend that time. You'll have some preliminary work and some things. And then what we're going to do is like an intensive session where you're able to now, we'll hop on a call for Q&A time, probably an hour a day for 7 days or so. So that means now you have to be doing the work in the course to be able to hop on these lives, and I'll make myself available during that time to answer questions. And the reason I want to do it in a group setting is not to embarrass anyone, and it's not to put anyone out there. However, I've been in these type of environments. I like the hybrid learning session method because there's people asking questions that I didn't even think about asking. So now I'm getting more information. You know, sometimes so many brains are better than one. Now I am going to limit the amount of people in these courses. The other course that I'm going to be dropping will be, and this is for May, and I'll be releasing that the end of this week actually, is a QBO setup. Well, one, we're going to start out with the preliminary work of getting these commingled funds separated. Like if you were already commingling, fine, you got some prelim work to do. We're going to start getting those separated. I'm going to tell you how to detail it out so that we can separate it and then help you get started with your QuickBooks setup and, you know, a little bit of training on that for you to get started on navigating that. Because I know there's a lot of business owners that are truly new business owners that don't know how to do these things, but you're not in a position at this point to really be able to afford bookkeeping services. So I understand that. So I'm willing to give you the basics. And then all you may need is a quarterly review from a professional for them just to review and make sure your books are in order. The other thing is for our newer business owners, if you are earning a substantial amount in your business where you're going to have that about $1,000 a month, you want to go ahead and start paying quarterly taxes. Because when we get to the end of the year, now you owe all these taxes and you don't know why. It's because you paid nothing in. Don't think you can make 6 figures and don't pay taxes unless you got these strategies and these loopholes in place for you not to pay the taxes. Like you can't do it. It's the best way to do it is the plan. Now, I know it's not just me, it's several of my business partners. Like we're trying to figure out what to do to help the new business owners. This is what I have to contribute. This is what I'm willing to do. Because I've been doing it in a one-on-one setting, but it's not worth it. And a lot of times people can't afford, because it's some grunt work involved. But what better to go through that grunt work, drop that one-time fee, get the assistance to navigate through that process. I offer pick my brain sessions. So if you got a quick question that Tawana, let me pick your brain and ask you this question to help me with this because I'm stuck, then that's a more affordable route. The other thing that we forget, when you have a business, you got to be willing to invest in yourself and invest in your business. And when you do, it's a tax write-off. So you can actually recoup those expenses on the back end. So like I said, I don't know what else to say. Does anyone have any questions? I've said a whole lot. And this was, I don't have any notes or anything, guys. This is just kind of off the dome of where I'm at. I try not to operate in emotion when it comes to business and really separate myself back from the emotion. But when I look at it in a logical sense, and it may be because I watch too much Law and Order, but I'm always thinking like a few steps ahead, like, why does that don't make no sense? But yeah. Anybody got any questions? Anybody got anything they want to chime in on? Money Architect, what's going on? Y'all, and then she came in on the tail end. Hey girl. But yeah, anybody got anything they want to say, they want to chime in? If you wanna, I don't know how to, well, on Facebook and YouTube, I know you can't come on, but if you want to chime in on IG, if you want to come on and have some extra convo, let me know. Send a request. I don't mind chit-chatting with you so people can get some more nuggets and some more information. Like information and education is key. And that's another thing. Stop following up these doggone self-proclaimed gurus that's YouTubing this information and giving it to you. Stop. Stop it. Cut it out. I'm seeing that foolishness too. And here's the thing. When you go register for an LLC, they don't ask you if you got the knowledge to do the job. They just let you register. So everybody that has an LLC does not mean that they're proficient in their business. Again, everybody that goes to school, pass a test, that does not mean they're proficient in the tax or accounting professional for you. That's not what that means. That means they went to school, they did well, they passed the test. Woohoo. I know some dope, super dope tax professionals that don't have they. And honestly, guys, if I can relive and do it over again, I honestly probably would have went and got my 2-year associate's degree. And I would have learned everything I could, sort of like trades. Like, you can't go to school and be in a classroom to learn how to work on a car. You got to start working on the car. And it's the same thing. I really wish I had done things different. One, it would have kept Sally Mae out my business. But two, I believe I would have been a lot further along, a lot quicker had I taken the route to really learn the trade. Granted, I still learned a lot, and even with school, but I would have been so deep in my trade that I would have been even doper, y'all. Because I think I'm pretty dope. I don't know about nobody else, but I think I'm pretty dope. But yeah, I would have for real, girl. Listen, I done found a mentor that's gonna kind of help me navigate that process with Sally Mae. But yeah, I mean, because we go to school and and I know I did it with my kids, beat it across their head, and with the whole myth, go to school, get a good job. But by the time you go to school and you owe Sally Mae, you can't even find a job to make what you owe in student loans. or funding, depending on, or even as we're in middle and high school, we're not encouraged to be creative thinkers, number one, but we're also not encouraged to go to school debt free. I know my little cousin, she graduated last year during the pandemic, and I was talking to my aunt today, and she was talking, we just kind of started talking about her with her stuff, and I totally forgot this child had a full ride. Like she hammered in the books. I remember the days of, when she would come to town and she'd be in there during the holidays in her books. We weren't taught that, you know, or even looking at going into a field that is more trades related. For those people in occupational therapy, nursing, we're not taught to look at the industries, and then we get to college and we're like, I got to take math. Let me find a easier subject, but I ain't gonna drop out of school because mama and them ain't having that. So I'm gonna take the class that doesn't require anything and incur additional debt. Like, we're not taught about that. It's just unfortunate, but we're not taught that way. Now, though, I'm able to explain to my daughter when it comes to my grandbabies. I explain, like, let's go on and get little boy a vending machine business. He ain't got nothing else to do. Let him go on and learn how to hustle and fill the thing up and count his money, and put his percentages aside for what they need to be put aside for. That's another discussion we're going to have in the self-employed Tax Secrets Masterclass, about putting your money aside for those quarterly taxes and separating those accounts and putting the money where it needs to be. So again, be on the lookout for those courses dropping May and then for June. And yes, the credit is still coming. I'm on the list now to get some. I've already done quite a bit of credit repair training, but there's just someone who I want to tap into and get some more little nuggets, so that and that's another thing. Things just don't happen overnight. I watched one of my sisters in craft today. She went live and she was talking about how people just think that things are going to get fixed overnight. Like, you took years to mess your credit up. The same thing. Yeah, I'm gonna relate it to weight loss. Okay, like, we know we was eating them little Debbie snacks and the zebra cakes and the Rice Krispie treats and for me, my Coca-Cola. Like, this weight ain't just come. Like, it ain't just show up overnight. But we want it off quick, fast, in a hurry. Now, I know for me, I ain't finna go get no lipo or nothing like that, because but I'm like, I want this weight off. And that's the same thing we have to apply for business. We got to do things the right way. It's going to take time. If repairing our credit, it's going to take time. If that's what you're wanting to do, don't assume that you done jacked your credit up over the last 10, 15, 20 years and you get in there and then somebody gonna fix it in 30 days. Not gonna happen. You gotta tear it down to build it back up. And that's the same thing with the muscles in your body. You gotta tear it down to build it back up. But I like I said, when it comes to the PPP, when it comes to tax preparation for the business owners, especially if you're not a real business owner, but you did that and you getting government assistance, don't put your babies in that situation. Okay. Anything else? Any questions? Anything anybody want to tap in or chime in on? Tonight was whew. All right. Well, if no one has anything else, I'm gonna get back to these tax returns. And what else I got? Let's see. Yeah, tax returns, because my PPP applications are all submitted. If you know that you may be eligible or you're having trouble applying or getting PPP funds, again, we're still taking clients. I am going to put a cutoff out there for clients to get their documents or get their onboarding done with me with Bryant Business Solutions. If you have not submitted your documents and you've already initiated the onboarding process, go ahead and start getting those to me, because it's nearing the end of the month. Your procrastination will not become my emergency at all. And I will be filing you a nice little extension. Okay. And the extensions are not free. But I mean, we've been off work for how long? We should have had our stuff, together to go ahead and get submitted. So I will have a cutoff for submitting tax documents, just so I can make sure, because I do take time with those documents. I don't just fly through them. It's not the misconception of it being, what is, Jasmine, a t-shirt slogan. I'm not going to be rushed through the process. I want to take time, and I honestly, I work on somebody's return and I'll step away from it just so I can have a fresh set of eyes when I come back and I look at it and look at the documents again to make sure I'm applying every benefit that I can possibly apply and every strategy for their specific return to make sure I'm not missing anything. I'm one of those people that literally I am writing notes. Okay, I need to get that on the shirt. Your procrastination is not my emergency is a t-shirt. But I do sometimes sleep on it, because if I see if I see they owe the IRS too much, and I can know these people ain't paid enough in, but I'm like, it's got to be something. And literally it'll come to me, oh, apply this, or do that, or ask them about this to see if we can use that strategy. So these are things that I do. I do take time with my returns. I don't, unless it's somebody that has just a straightforward W-2 return that it ain't nothing, then that's different. But for my business owners, I do try to, find ways to minimize that. I did have a client last year that she was still paying out a couple $1,000s a year in taxes, and she literally implemented one little small step that I told her to do. And this year, I think her payment amount is like $200 and something. And when I say thousands of dollars every year, y'all, she was paying thousands of dollars every single year. But as a result of taking my advice and really implementing it, because you guys come to professionals for their advice, and I don't see how we do this. We go to the doctor for a prescription, and then we don't take the prescription, and then wonder why we're not getting any better. Like, you come to us for this stuff. We give you the nuggets. We give you the information. All you got to do is implement it to start seeing small changes. Small changes are good. Don't discount the small changes at all. But yeah. All right. Well, we are going to wrap up Tax Talk Tuesday for this week. We'll be right back here, same time, same place. Forgive me, y'all. I really do be trying to get on early, and it's always something else that acts crazy with my system. Today I had to restart the whole computer because the video wouldn't come up and was trying to tell me something. But I do be trying to come on, but we'll be here again, same time, same place next Tuesday for Tax Talk Tuesday. If you are following me on IG, if you're not following me on IG, go follow me on IG. I am the Transparent Accountant. Something else that I've decided to make changes in my business. I don't post, you'll see some similar things from social media platform to platform, but I try to cater to the audience that's there. So I provide different information on the different platforms. So that's a way to get information as well. Yeah. So if you're not following me, I am the Transparent Accountant on IG, or Tawana Bryant Osborne, MBA. If you need to follow me there, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter. Twitter, I think it's something else, but Twitter, I just kind of let stuff kind of roll over there. I don't know. Maybe I don't value Twitter like I should, but I'm primarily on between IG and Facebook, and then I'm trying to beef up my activity in LinkedIn, because that's a whole different audience that I really want to, that's my niche audience. Real estate professionals. I do have cheat sheets available for real estate professionals, as well as the hair care industry, hairstylists, barbers, manicurists, estheticians. I have a beauty toolkit is what it's called. I have that available for you on my Linktree. So if you go on linktree.com/BBS3 LLC, the same as if you're on Facebook, the same as the link that you see below. then you'll be able to get that downloaded for free. There's no charge for that. If you are starting a business and you're not sure how to structure your entity or set it up, I do have an ebook that I released for that with detailed information that will help you make a more sound decision in setting that up. All right, so until next Tuesday, I'll holler at you. Hopefully we don't have nothing pop off in between now and then. If so, turn your notifications on because I will be live. All right, I'll see you guys next week and have a wonderful Tuesday.